Hey people, Indrid here, 1v1 Dorillo's Forge, blue side. FuFuHunt3r is a Warboss, a melee hero, walking through objects, very good offense, disruption and support. From the front line is the Goth's elite scheme here. Up against is BeholdenBatonII with an Eversor assassin, a risk-reward melee brawler that explodes on death. It's going to be a fun one. Big angry melee fella versus smaller angry melee fella. You have double shooters up for FuFuHunt3r. Was hoping for a mass of sluggers, but I guess we're not going to get that. Got some strike squad out for BeholdenBatonII, and the stormtroopers are off. In fact, it seems like they're kind of sticking together. I thought maybe the stormtroopers would try to go southwest and grab that VP, but they were trying to get to the mid. Run into some shooter boys who go for the heavy cover of the pipes, but here come the strike squad. That'll smack them up in melee. Warboss wants to have a word though. These big old chain axe. Is it even a chain axe? I think it's just an axe with spiky bits on it to make it even axier. Sluggers get in, Warboss gets in, and the strike squad flee. Here comes the Eversor assassin. Big swing and a miss with that special attack. Then gets stomped. That's the starting ability of the Warboss. And the Eversor pops his starting ability, the Psychon. Grants him more damage output and some damage resistance, but he has to spend health to activate it. And he's sent packing. Good start for the Orks. They can now do some forward capping maybe. Warboss trying to grab that wreck point. Sluggers in on the gens early on, but the strike squad and the stormtroopers more than enough to get them running. Where are the other shooters? Oh, they went southwest to grab the VP here. None of these victory points are considered natural. All three contested. So you get some big swings in the VP caps, triples and doubles and the like. Purgation on the way now for BeholdenBatonII. Needs a way to control this Warboss. And those sluggers are quite dangerous too, eh? Storm boys now for FuFuHunt3r. Power melee squad that can jump on you. It's a cool skin, this. Like the twin link shooter just bolted to his wrist. Shooter boys, no upgrades. All the power went on those storm boys, and they are up. And here's your purgation with incinerators to suppress infantry. You can also use the, is it purge by flame or something, to just slow something down immediately. There's the suppression on the Warboss. Eversor assassin not getting involved yet. Here come the storm boys. They're going to be a pretty good counter to the purgation, able to just jump over those flames. Eversor could be there to counter-initiate, of course. Maybe some kill zone action. Nope. We're going to see the Executioner pistol. Was hoping we'd see the kill zone axe in tier 2. We might still see it. Warboss getting suppressed again. Let's spin the camera so we can see stuff a bit. There's the Psychon. The stomp didn't do much. I guess he was trying to disrupt the Eversor who ran. I mean, he soaked up a huge amount of damage there, the Warboss. There's a Daka here. The Storm Boys come. Can they get a model? They're not amazing at chasing on their feet. They tend to kind of stumble around with their jump packs going, and they don't run very fast either. And when they stumble around, there's like a half a second or so animation for them to get back up. A little bit unfortunate for them. Need to really try to jump ahead. Storm Boys joining the fight again. They just use choppers, right? They've got axes. I think that's just for the Goths. Is it just for the Goths? Yeah, I don't think they usually have axes, unless my entire life has been a lie. They're so strong and ferocious, they just make them power melee. Eversor blows up when he dies. They tried to save him there, the strike squad, by using energy burst and slowing down the storm boys. It's a nice tool to have against the storm boys. Mess with their energy, it means they can't jump when they'd like to. There's the purge by flame thing. So that red debuff circle. Odd boys though on the storm boys. And they're a big problem. They are proving to be a massive problem. Haven't even seen user choppers on them yet. 469 to 483 on the VPs. Quite a lot of pressure from FuFuHunt3r, but they haven't really snatched up the map like maybe you'd think they would. They just want to fight stuff. Warboss decapping the wreck point again. That's going to be a big pain in the ass for Beholden because that's a plus 30 fully matured wreck point. Here we see the Executioner pistol with the neurotoxin to slow stuff down and do damage over time. Note that it's a slow, not a suppression. So you can even slow Terminators and stuff with it. And the Sin Skin Body Glove, more health regen, and makes the Psychon better by reducing the health cost. And it means that it lasts longer, I think? Yeah. I believe it lasts 8 seconds by default, takes it up to 12. So 50% increase in duration. Beholden able to break out of the power. And the generator actually didn't go down. It's got 10 hit points. Is it worth? The age-old question, is it worth repairing the gen and not capping other areas? Or should you just let it go, try and get some map control and replace it when it goes down? I think they take a little while to repair, eh? Probably worth just grabbing map. Depends how many units you have as well, I suppose. Lost the indicator for the Eversor Assassin, but you can see his health in his portrait bottom right. Got pretty low there. Storm Boys with Ard Boys again, 25% damage resistance, and they take down the Eversor Assassin again. So that explosion on death does friendly fire. Storm Boys only dropped one model. It's a miracle. It's an Orky Christmas miracle. Got this sad looking Dreadnought who just fell backwards and couldn't get up and just died in there. Are you shooters? Oh, you're the sluggers down there. Sluggers haven't done a huge amount of fighting. It's been all the Storm Boys. And here comes a Weird Boy in tier 2 for FuFuHunt3r. That's a pretty quick Weird Boy, it feels like. Beholden only got Purgation and some war gear. And they're only not even halfway through the tier 2. There's Energy Burst on the Storm Boys again. Great tool to have against the Warboss as well, because it means you might be able to stop him using the Stomp. I assume it also messes up his charge if he has Angry Bits. They've gone for Spiky Armor. Damage on hit also gives him a really healthy chunk of health and health regen too. Here's your Weird Boy. Sub-commander for Orks with awesome control and disruption abilities. Has some decent buffs as well. The Warpath buff being the main one. I don't know if you'd call over there chucking Orks at something a buff, but he can do that too. Warboss is level 2. The Eversor, not quite level 2. There's that neurotoxin. Can they get a model from it? I'm not sure how it interacts with retreating. Does it reduce the damage? Not sure. Storm Boys with Ard Boys again, and they might wipe out the Purgation here. Indeed they do. That is a big loss for Beholden. I feel like they need a Dreadnought or something. They're going for a Terminator Librarian. Would have been great if the Purgation was still up, because he can protect them with Sanctuary. Oh, but look at this. As I was wittering away and nattering, they took out the Storm Boys there. Kept them in play too long. They thought they could take on the Strat Squad. The Strat Squad didn't even drop it. Oh, they did drop a model. They have a Justicar in there. Only dropped one model. With double shooters, a Weird Boy, Warboss was in there, and the Storm Boys. Purgation down, though. Are they going to replace the Purgation? Because now they have this Terminator Librarian with the Sanctuary thing. Which is really good at protecting your ranged units. Eversor levels to 2. Wants to go after the Weird Boy. He throws the neurotoxin on the Weird Boy. Well, shoots him with it, I guess. 120 what? Piercing damage, is it? Yeah. He's got a lot of hit points, the Weird Boy. Over 1,000. Although Warpath gives him more, doesn't it? Yeah. 25% more health on Warpath. I mean, that's worth it just for that. But Warpath itself is pretty awesome. Plus 2 speed, 20% damage resist. Would have been great to help out those Storm Boys, but I guess it can buff the Sluggers up now. We got some Looters up. Here's the off-map Vindicare support, revealing all of the units in FuFuHunt3r's army to BeholdenBaton. Saw neurotoxin on the Warboss there, and he ran off. He didn't like it. Eversor Assassin's getting stuck into ranged units. Good special. Pops the Psychon. Pops it a bit late. Maybe they were waiting for the Sluggers to show up. The Sluggers now have their Nob Leader, and they're getting their burners. They're going to be quite dangerous quite quickly. Here's the old Terminator Librarian. I'm not sure what his DPS is. I imagine it's around 50 or 60 power melee DPS. He's got this Force Sword. Puts the shrouding on himself. Infiltrates the unit and gives them a 25% damage buff, I believe. Gets in on the looters with it. So we might see Shooter Boy's Nob Leader to spot that kind of thing. Warp Vomit, such an awesome ability. Big area of effect stun and knockback. It lasts like 7 or 8 seconds and doesn't do friendly fire or friendly stun. It's amazing. There you can see Sanctuary just really messing with the Slugger's coherency. Big special. Look at the knockback strength on that Terminator Librarian special attack. It's pretty awesome. Did some good work there. Did some really good work. Got that inspiration on kill, but I don't think anything was close enough to be inspired. Eversor now trying to chase things. Puts Bio Meltdown on himself. One of his globals to damage all nearby units, but it also damages the Eversor while it's active. Didn't seem like a great time to use it. Maybe they assumed the Sluggers would turn and engage there. You'll often see it used with the hypermetabolism global, so that he's getting healed from the hypermetabolism, and it kind of counters the damage from Bio Meltdown. I don't know how much those things are. That might be a relatively expensive combo these days. It's been adjusted a few times. There's the Banishment from the Tomes of Titan. Also how they're doing the energy burst thing. 469 to 181. A massive VP lead for FuFuHunt3r. But here comes a Grey Knight Dreadnought. They're giving up any hope of getting tier 3 anytime soon by getting a Dreadnought up. And see how it goes. Tier 3 is up for FuFuHunt3r. I assume it's going to be a melee Dreadnought, but many people are tempted by the plasma cannon, so we'll see. I think they should go melee Dreadnought, because Flash Kits can't really touch it, and it'll do a lot better against the Nob Squad. It'll tear through all this infantry. Vindicare Assassin on the way now for BeholdenBaton as well. There's the Neurotoxin. And here comes that Grey Knight Dreadnought. Starts off with this Incinerator. Looks like it's just been put in melee stance here to intimidate that weird boy. Now he's going after the Warboss. Crack and another. It's not enough to take him down, but he got pretty damn close. A Power Claw in the Warboss's hand now. And Beamy Looters with their Beamy Death Gun doing beams. That guy had a bad time. Choke slammed by a Dreadnought. Other fellow runs for his life. For his little orky life. Here's your Vindicare then. Elite sniper unit. Big burst damage versus all targets because he can change his ammo to combat infantry and also large / vehicle targets. He's in trouble here though. Sluggers have got him. And goes down. Big loss for BeholdenBaton. They just lost sight of their Vindicare for like 30 seconds there. That's quite sloppy. I'm not sure what they were up to. Was he trying to go into base, the Dreadnought? Terminator Librarian also lost a bunch of health. There's Energy Burst on the Sluggers. They're going to have a bad time here. Takes out the Nob Leader. Have to repurchase that fella. Smite out from the Terminator Librarian. Almost got him. They got him. Sluggers are down. Sluggers are down. There's Neurotoxin on the Looters. Dreadnought staying very far away from it. Another Vindicare Assassin on the way. I think it's a pretty good purchase most of the time if you can micro him well. We'll see how BeholdenBaton does this time. The Terminator Librarian's done a great job. Really helped to stabilize when he came out. 2-to-1 cap here for Beholden. Are they bothering to reinforce the looters? Well, they got one model on them. Well, they might deem that enough. Nothing out in tier 3 yet for FuFuHunt3r. Could get a Knobs Good up soon. Here's that Vindicator Assassin. That target reticule decorator tells us he's got the Exodus rounds loaded in for anti-infantry damage. Shooter's never got any upgrades, the poor bastards. Dreadnought now fighting a Warboss, puts Ard Boys on himself, but he cannot take down the Dreadnought with that much health. Have a lot of health, Grey Knight Dreadnoughts. 1300 they come out the gate with, I think. More than the others. I believe the Space Marine Dreadnought has 1200 and the Chaos Dreadnought has 1000, I think. Is that right? Someone will correct me. Or maybe not. Maybe they don't know either. Are you guys going to cap? There we go. I feel like FuFuHunt3r maybe didn't use their numbers super well and get like surrounds on. Come around here, bash power a bit maybe while you're engaging in the mid. They've gone for big blobby fights. And since the Dreadnought showed up, Beholder's been doing quite well with that. 388164. It's a looted tank for FuFuHunt3r. Reinforced plating immediately for, I think it's 200 more hit points. And the boom gun. Vindicator, what are you up to, buddy? He's got the Chameleoline stealth suit, so he goes infiltratey once he gets into cover, which is kind of... it's kind of handy. Does mean that he's not going to auto fire though as well. And we have the turbo penetrator rounds in. Nope, switching back to Exodus. Turbo penetrator would have been good for the tank. Looks like he's switching back again. Indecision there for BeholdenBaton. And Beamiluter's getting shots on a Dreadnought now. They've gone multi-melter. Good damage versus all targets from close range. Can they get one more shot? Surely. There it is. Now needs to be careful because they're very low and the Warboss is going after it. Do they get a 20% melee damage resist when they have the multi-melter? I hope they do. The lesser melee resist. I think they call it minor melee resist in the files. They took out the looters and the Warboss strikes him down after. Here comes the Eversor with shrouding on him. Got himself a melter bomb, not needed right now. There's a neurotoxin. Gets in amongst the other shooter boys. Maybe should have gone after the weird boys so he can't do those dangerous attacks. The shooter boys aren't doing a huge amount. I guess they're feeding some XP to the Eversor assassin. Surprised FuFuHunt3r even wants to keep them alive. Could just chuck them away, lessen their upkeep. I guess they don't have many units right now, maybe that's why. Commando squad on the field. Being buffed by Warpath. Looks like hypermetabolism is up on the Eversor. Yeah, there's the end of it, where he becomes more vulnerable for 10 seconds. And he got the Neuro Gauntlet in. Can they take out the Warboss here? They can. Terminator Librarian doing some great work. Got a big inspiration on that kill. Commandos love the Dakar. And disrupt the Strike Squad. There's some more disruption from the Terminator Librarian with Sanctuary. We'd only hit one model there. This guy's been awesome. Up over 1,000 hit points as well, the Terminator Librarian now. At level 3. 370 to 164. Still a pretty fat VP lead for FuFuHunt3r. Warboss down though. They have enough red to drop a rocks. There's the repurchase of the Warboss. I mean, he's a pretty big deal. Has been invested in level 3. Need him out on the field doing stuff. Stormtroopers. They have level 3. Got their sergeant as well. Capping up the mid is Beholden. Time to switch out of... there we go. Going back to Exodus round since there's no vehicles on the field for FuFuHunt3r. Trying to finish off these shooter boys here. And they are indeed finished off. FuFuHunt3r didn't seem to try very hard to preserve those fellas. But the other guys retreated. Maybe he retreated the wrong squad. Didn't reinforce them though, suggesting he's not too bothered about keeping them around. Another Grey Knight Dreadnought, hey? Not a bad shout, I think. Commandos do have an anti-vehicle weapon if they get their Nob Leader. And of course there's still the Power Claw. But it might be that he's expecting Nobs. Wants a big melee thing out. Needs the melee upgrade though. 315 to 164. Eversor switched back to Executioner Pistol. Now getting the Neuro Gauntlet out again. Here comes the Terminator Librarian. He shrouded himself there for a bit. Sends the Weird Boy off. Warboss is all alone against a whole bunch of stuff here. Here comes that Eversor. Neuro Gauntlet is back in. Is it 80 DPS? Yeah, 80 DPS power melee with no special attacks. It's all about just raw DPS on this thing. Pretty cool trait for it to have, I think. A neat idea. Warboss is running off, so is the Weird Boy. Another looted tank on the way for FuFuHunt3r. I guess they don't know. They might not know that the Eversor has melter bombs. They'd have clicked on them and seen their war gear. But they know the Vindicator's out. Nob Leader coming in on the commandos. Love the Daka into a burner bomb. Nasty for those stormtroopers there. Where is the Dreadnought actually? The other shooter boy died. No big surprise. There he is. Burning some commandos. Oh, the tank is taking... Wow, that was a big rear armor hit from the turbo penetrator rounds. Look at that damage. Using targets acquired, I think it increases his range and reveals the unit that he shoots at. That's handy. Got some Gretchens up with this cool new portrait. Warboss is getting dealt with. Terminator Librarian, decked out Eversor, Dreadnought and Vindicator all shooting him and hitting him. Just having a bad time. Tier 3 for BeholdenBaton. FuFuHunt3r's let this lead slip down to almost 200-ish. Still a decent lead though, eh? Level 4 Strike Squad. I wonder if they can get Grey Knight Terminators out. They do have a decent chunk of power, BeholdenBaton. And this power's bashed up here. Incinerator doing some good work. That damage. Got deceptively long range as well, that Incinerator. Or whatever you call it. I'm just going to keep calling it an Incinerator. But it might just be a heavy flamer or something. Are they the repair crew? They are repair crew Gretchens, so they repair at the full 10 per second rather than 5. Smite. Direct hit on those commandos. Up over 1,200 hit points on this guy now. Warboss versus Dreadnought. Eversor in the back lines causing havoc, but getting knocked over by the Weird Boy. Hasn't really gone after the Weird Boy that much. There is not hypermetabolism, biomeltdown, and immediately died with it, so it was a big old explosion, but not worth the usage, I don't think. Should have tried to get out of there. Maybe he was like, hey, I'm not going to get out of here. I'll throw the biomeltdown up. Not sure it was worth the cost, though. You want the damage over time off it. For a bit, you know? Looted tank took a bunch of damage. We now have a Vortimer Razorback. Takes down the tank. FuFuHunt3r just hasn't done well since they went tier 3. Never go tier 3, they say, as soon as I say that. GG says BeholdenBaton, and FuFuHunt3r gives up, concedes with massive VP lead still on the board, but they were just getting frustrated. No power income, really. I mean, maybe they could have held on, turned it around with a Nob squad. I'm actually surprised we saw that second tank and not a Nob squad when they knew there was a Vindicator. Beholden holds on. Gets it done. He's in there somewhere, the Vindicator. Level 6, almost level 7, and we had a level 3 Warboss. There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.